Imbriano, the Fullerton Informer, coming to you live from the streets of Orange County, California, on this Wednesday afternoon, early evening, 2021. And welcome to another broadcast on another one of the Fullerton Informer channels here. I want to welcome you. Now, we had a talk this morning, we had a talk yesterday, we had a lot of talks over the past couple of years, but today we're going to talk about the probe, folks. That's right. And no, I'm not talking about the Martian probe that's supposedly collecting space rocks off of an asteroid. I'm talking about the probes, folks. The ones that are going up your nose. The ones that are going up your nostrils. Now, have any of you had any experience with these probes? Okay, because I have to tell you, folks, that I don't know what kind of mindset is involved in allowing somebody to stick these things up into your brain cavity. But I will tell you that the probing is, it ain't what it seems, folks. This is Joe Imbriano, your host. P.O. Box 4121, Fullerton, California, 92834. On the web at the FullertonInformer.com, WiFiDangers.com, VaxDangers.com, CellTowerDangers.com. I guess we might as well talk about Apple666.org and Disney666.com. For those of you who have children, you need to understand those websites. So what is going on? Why are they sticking these things up people's noses, up into their sinus cavities, all the way up, folks? What is going on? What is the reason that they're doing this? Now, from the very beginning of this operation, we've been told that there is an alleged virus that is present in the air around people that are carrying this alleged virus. And it's highly transmissible, according to Fauci. And therefore, we've got to test people to see if they are positive for this alleged virus. And so they have to take samples of the person's saliva or bodily fluids to determine the presence of certain types of markers, if you will, that allegedly will indicate the presence of an alleged virus in this person's body. And so they tell us we've got to wear a mask because, you know, breathing out droplets that are aerosolized contain the alleged virus. We've got to feet away from each other because we need to reduce the transmission of this alleged virus, right? And so if this alleged virus is literally coming out of our mouth in droplets, aerosolized droplets, and traveling through the air, then this place to check for something that is supposedly exiting your respiratory tract is the exit of your respiratory tract. And so why are they not just simply swabbing the mask? Why are they not letting you lick a postage stamp and go into an LSD trip? No, I'm just kidding. Folks, seriously, why can't they just let you spit in a cup? If there's some sort of alleged virus in your exhalation, then why can't you breathe into something? Why is it that this thing is supposedly so contagious that they got to go to the dark side of the moon to find it in your body? They got to go all the way up your nose into your brain. What's going on here, folks? What's up with the probes, ladies and gentlemen? And can some of you in the live chat here tell the audience how it went for you, if you've gone through it? How long was the Q-tip and what did it feel like? Did they do both sides? I had heard today from someone that was returning to the United States from Costa Rica, I believe, that in order to get on an aircraft to come back here, they had to have a COVID test. that involves sticking the swabs up both nostrils, not just one, but two nostrils. Big long things all the way up. And then they had to have QR code on their cell phone so they would be able to have it scanned to get on the airplane to come back to the United States, or they would face some sort of a punitive measure, fines or some legal action. I'm not sure about the ramifications of not providing a COVID test when you're trying to come back in the United States. But my point is they got one up each nostril, folks. And you know, this person has already been vaccinated, by the way. I'm not speaking to the intellect or the level of critical thinking or the ability of this individual to reason. I'm just merely stating what I've been told that is factual. That this person got probed up both nostrils all the way as far as they could go. So, you know, why is it that, you know, if it's so contagious and it's so airborne, if it's even real to begin with, why is it that they've got to go to such great lengths to find it in us? Why? What's going on with the probe, folks? And no, this is not some NASA probe going into space, scraping the surface of an asteroid to bring back the Andromeda strain by accident to justify the ultimate lockdown. That's not what they're doing yet. So they use this PCR test that, well, it creates a case-demic, because every one of these tests they run on somebody, they could test somebody once a week, and that's 52 cases a year, right? They tell us there's cases. Well, they're testing people. Now, those are 52 cases. Every test is a case. For crying out loud, they could be testing the diaper manufacturing process, and that's a case. Look, I'm just trying to get you to think. And I'm trying to understand the logic here, because I'm not buying it. Everybody is wearing masks outside now, even in public, even in fresh air, even outside, even when they're 10 feet apart. But yet, I see people, like right now, I see these people walking their dogs. There's two people here, and they're walking their dogs, right? And they both have masks on, but their dogs don't have masks, okay? Now, we know that we've been told that sea otters at the zoo and minks on the farm and gorillas in the cages and dogs in the kennel can carry this alleged virus, right? And so we also know that in China they're doing what are called anal swabs on the children. So they're probing children in their sphincter with these Q-tips. Why are they probing children in their rectum? Is that medical rape? Certainly sounds like it to me. But I guess the question would be, is that if the case is that this incidence of the rats blaming the bats, which is what is actually happening here, the rats blamed the bats for this alleged virus. And then we are told that transmission took place between an animal and a human, and it happened over a large period of time, and consequently has resulted in an alleged outbreak of an alleged virus. And so in order to document the proliferation of this alleged outbreak of this alleged virus, they have called up and utilized something called a polymerase chain reaction test, which literally will take a fragment of the big picture of someone's blood and or some tissue and over magnify it a million times, and then, oh, looky here, we found a skyscraper in this guy's back pocket, right? No, what they've done is they've created a case-demic, okay? And that's what they tell us all about, are the cases. All right. So if the animals gave it to the people, and we know we've been told that dogs allegedly carry the virus, and so do zoo animals and everything else, and we've been told that it's a transgenic alleged virus, that it jumps the species barrier. This alleged virus can jump the species barrier, and we're told that one of the most accurate ways to detect the presence of this alleged virus is by doing anal swabs. then how come people are allowed to walk around with dogs that don't have a mask on and dogs that don't have a diaper on? Well, I mean, let's face it, dogs don't use the toilet. They just dump it in the grass. They take a leak on the and they just go to the bathroom wherever they darn well please. And people walk in it and step in it and truck it in their house and breathe it, because that's how you can tell you got it, because you could smell it. And then you end up taking your toothbrush and scraping it off your shoes, right? And then you throw your toothbrush away. No, well, I hope you don't use that toothbrush again. But my point is that if the thing is airborne, why are we going all the way up into the brain cavity to find it? And if it's rectally transmitted by defecation, that's indicated by the procedure that is being rolled out and extolled as a very accurate form of determination, anal swabs. Why is it legal for people to walk their dogs? Why is it legal for them to stick this thing up your nose? Why is it legal for them to stick these things up your butt? And why is it legal, based on all the aforementioned, to stick that thing in your arm? Well, it's all by implied consent, folks. It's all by your failure to do what so many women do so well, and that is to say no. You know, I have never, ever met anyone that said yes all the time. Boy, I wish I had that kind of luck when I was younger, right? I wish a lot more said yes and a lot less said no. Now everybody just says yes to being probed and violated, right? Can you please explain what's going on here, folks? I mean, seriously, do you really, really understand what has happened to everybody? Well, I do. That's because they've all been brainwashed. And I talked this morning about what is the education system all about, and how I talked about, it starts in the TV set, and then it goes to school, and then it comes home during summer break and goes back to the TV set, and then goes back to school, and then it goes back to the TV set, and then it goes to the movies when it gets older, and then it goes to the college, and then it comes home for summers, goes back to the TV, and then it gets into the movie theater again, and then now once you're out of school, it ends up in Netflix and all these different programs that you watch. And so the educational system is training you to be probed. And for what? What in the world is going on here, folks? Jeez. Where is everybody? By the way, can you guys do me a favor, get the likes up? I don't know what's going on, but you type my name in the search engine, and what they do is make all the bad stuff come up by these idiots. And you type the name of my channel into YouTube, and it brings up somebody's playlist and some defamatory garbage. It's just crazy how they try to keep the good man down, right? But that's okay, because we just get right back up again and keep on keeping on, right, folks? Well, the point is nothing makes any sense, folks. Nothing, okay? Boy, these people are... Can you see this guy behind me? What a monster. They don't require, I guess, consideration of brains for driver's license in this country. Well, my point is with everyone is they've just laid down and rolled over on this whole thing, folks. And nobody says no to the probe anymore. Now, how come they've been able to get away with all this probing? Can anyone tell me why people have allowed themselves to simply be violated in this fashion? Well, I'm going to tell you exactly why. And I'm going to tell you the reason why it is such a bad thing to exemplify the reason for this, okay? The reason people are being probed and allowing themselves to be probed is because they're cowards, okay? People have had their courage surgically removed through chemical castration and psychological lobotomization. And as a result of this psychological lobotomization, They have lost all of their will to fight. Now, their will to fight is a result of chemical castration that is a direct result of fluoridation of the water supply and the food supply. And by the way, you know, when you go get one of those prepackaged slices of apples, it's dosed with fluoride. Do you ever wonder why the most basic the most basic chemical reaction fails to take place on those sliced apples inside that bag? You know, the oxidation reduction reaction, you know, the kind that, you know, that makes the metal turn orange and rusted, that makes the apple turn brown when it sits out in the air, that makes the apple juice go from clear to brown immediately when you stick it in the Jack LaLanne juicer. But the magic in the bag at the drive-thru, right? You get those sliced apples, you go to the store, you get the fluoridation, folks. Because fluoride is the ultimate weapon of metabolism and thinking, right? Throws a big wrench in the Krebs cycle. It's just a big mineral replacement reaction in the bones and in the pineal gland. I mean, it's just awful. How do they get us to get to this position? Well, it's nothing but a bunch of fear factor, folks. And, you know, the bottom line is, if you're a coward, the Lake of Fire has a special seating arrangement, preview ticket extravaganza for you. Because the first ones in line for the Lake of Fire are the cowards, ladies and gentlemen. Do you understand what I'm saying? It is the cowards. And I didn't say this. It's in the book of Revelation, 21:8, when it talks about those that are going to be thrown into the lake of fire. And you know what? You don't want to think about this because nobody wants to think about eternity. But I'll tell you this. We must lay hold on eternal life. You've got to go through this life with one hand on what's coming next and one hand on the one who paid it all, the one who's going to take care of us in the world to come, and the one who has commissioned us to take care of things in this world according to the promises of his word that he kept with us. You see, I'll tell you a little secret about Jesus. Jesus made a promise, and he said, destroy this temple and I will raise it up on the third day. And he fulfilled that promise. They destroyed his temple, the body, and he came back. He rose from the dead. Now, he lived up to his word. And what did he tell us to do? He said to go forward and make disciples of all the nation. And he said, likewise, do what I did. And he said all of these things for our example. And so the last thing we need to be is afraid. We don't need to cower and curl up in a ball and assume the fetal position and cry for our little blankie and suck our thumb as they stick something up our butt, up our nose, into our brain, and into our arm as our skin peels off from the side effect of this necrolysis-inducing thing. Just look at the video. They put it on the news. All this guy's skin peeled off from the vaccine. The doctors admitted it was from the Johnson & Johnson COVID vaccine. And they interviewed the guy. The guy says, well, I'd do it again. I took one for the team, you know. My gosh. I mean, all right. Well, look, there's only so much I can say or do. There's only so much information I can put out in a day. And there's only so much of this I can take. I just want you all to know that this probe is not for you. It's not for me. They can take this probe and shove it, right? Remember that song? Take this job and shove it. How about take this probe and shove it, right? They can shove it. I don't want it. Find a way, folks. When there's a will, there's a way. And, you know, for all of you people out there that are involved in this, that are going along with this, just start asking some real questions about why the dogs aren't wearing people's grass and not wearing, and how come they're not taking samples from people's masks instead of their brain cavity. I mean, I don't know. I mean, to be honest with you, as far up as they're going with these probes in your nasal passage, that is not a place that is connected to your respiratory tract, in a sense that it would be a source of transmission if it indeed was inside the area where the diffusion of gases takes place in your lungs. Okay, you know, there are parts of your brain that are not involved in the breathing process where they're sticking this thing. So it behooves me to even imagine what up to, except for the fact when you go that far up into your sinuses, you can really do some damage to somebody. And I know the CDC's got a zombie program on their website, and I know that a lot of the Hollywood movie studios have been putting out a lot of zombie movies, and there's a lot of zombie Halloween costumes. There's a lot of zombie candy. There's like zombie cereal, and there's all this like zombie music and zombie displays in art galleries. And so I wonder if there's something to this zombie apocalypse, right? I wonder if it's possible that there's brain-eating amoebas that they're developing right now in petri dishes somewhere, that they're going to start sticking up everybody's nose, and they're going to start turning into people that, you know, turn into the things that you see on television. I don't know, folks. All I could say is they could take this probe and shove it. I'll see you guys. This is Joe Imbriano, the Fullerton Informer. Thanks for tuning in. Have a blessed evening. Take care.